read the part about the waitress getting hit, right?
You did not press this.
Oh, can we do that?
Yeah.
Need more info.
About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga O'Reilly mentioned.
Okay.
The plan was simple, elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. It was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search
Oh.
Wright.
Mr. Smith.
Don't do that.
That's the real reason why he killed him. It's like, Mr. Wright is my man.
He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut.
Just like the cover of a yaoi manga, TBH.
Up.
Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces.
Oh. Well, that might be too. Never mind. Forget it. Don't worry about it. Next.
Nigga like me? Never mind. Yeah, harmless prank, in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. Shit funny as fuck. Fuck.
A quirk? Like from My Hero Academia?
I happened to put my hand in my pocket, found a card.
The card you planted.
Yes, I snuck a peek at it, and it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game.
Disposed? Where?
It was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. Threw the card inside the bottle.
Ooh. An empty bottle of grape juice.
Murder weapon?
Yeah, I rolled it up and shoved it in. Colored glass makes it hard to see though.
Rip.
A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama.
And it was a red card too. Rip colorblind people.
A card inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Oh.
Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3, approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle.
So we should probably look at the bottle, right, guys?
A little bit.
I figured, yeah.
Maybe we should open the bottle a little bit.
We can open it?
We can try to.
Yeah, examine the cap.
That's crazy.
Look at it from the bottom.
We can only examine it from the front? Oh, that.
What?
There's a contradiction, dummy. I'm gonna expose him now. Go back, bitch. Bitch.
Now we're playing into
I'm
what's his
talking to
name?
me, bitch. Let's go to the left. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We're playing
Yeah,
into
there.
Mr. Hands. No, Phoenix, right? No.
I hope we don't get an instant game over or any shit like that. That'd be hilarious,
The
bruh.
first level, we're not going to get an instant game over. Mr. Wright, if I may.
What's up, cool?
I examined the bottle and I don't see any card in there.
Fuck.
Why do you like? Why'd you make it up?
No.
What, Mr. Wright? Surely.
What the heck was that?
Wait, what did you say, Tables?
I was working on my voice acting, you know.
Alright. What, Mr. Wright? Surely isn't all you have to say to yourself.
I can't say that I know what happened to the card. That's for sure. I did put in that bottle, however.
You're lying, bruh.
Perhaps a 5th person came and took it out. Oh, and a sixth person could have helped.
Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client.
My fault, Your Honor.
We just having fun. I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. Nothing was there.
Wow. Up, nigga.
Fuck. Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again?
A little bit.
Did the card just disappear? I think I know where it is.
In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence.
Oh.
Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO.
Why do I get a feeling that we're not on our client's side anymore?
Let me look at some pictures real quick. Look at some snaps. Let's look at the one on the first one that we ever gotten in our lives. Okay. Looking cute, looking thick. Let's go to the other picture.
Mwah.
Which one?
I'm out of commission for the night.
Let's get the picture of the cut on his head.
I detect homosexuals in this call.
Yeah, Darian.
2 homosexuals and a really tired nigga. Yeah.
Have him. Okay. Whoa.
Faith just
Was,
described my favorite genre.
Was P word the one investigating? Let me see that picture again.
What?
P word.
Let me see this picture right here.
Oh, you think Gavin was the one doing
They
the
said
investigation?
they took the picture.
So
I
you
mean, they
think
took the
Gavin
hat.
took the picture?
They took the hat off after, or like when they were investigating. But Niglet is calling the police, and he already knew that his head was bleeding. I mean,
Yeah.
a little bit of screen activity. Maybe he did kill him again. Come on, man. You're me, man. I wouldn't do that, Phoenix.
I think maybe
what?
Gavin took off the hat. And probably
Okay, let's go back to the text so I can bring my friend here up to speed. So let's go to the left real quick, just once. I don't gotta do it too many times. When I returned, because he returned from calling the police on his phone with no batteries in it. He was dead, right, with blood streaming from blood cut out his forehead, but his hat was on, right? Like he had his hat on this whole time, as what's her cock said. And so we go to the right again. He made another phone call to the defense attorney, but I'm sure the cops weren't here yet when he called this second time. And I don't think he would know that Brody's head is bleeding if it was capsuled under the hat.
Yep.
Neighbor.
Can you go right real quick? And then go right again. So you're accusing Phoenix.
Yeah. That nigga's a killer. You know what I mean?
Did we press everything?
One day y'all are gonna trust me.
I mean, I trust you. Wait, what did you say again?
Come on.
Holy shit, I almost had an aneurysm.
This is the 4th game.
Alright, well, the difficulty increased. Alright.
I actually had to use my brain power to hold the arteries in my brain together to make sure they didn't burst.
4 times for me.
I burst out laughing uncontrollably just a second ago.
Alright. Okay. You see how he said that his blood is coming from his forehead?
Yeah.
Now, when he said this, he came back. I returned from calling the cops. The cops weren't here at the time. Now, let's look at our evidence for a quick slide. If you could ever do me so kind of a favor, and look at that picture right under the attorney's badge. Which, oh my God, shiny by the way, nice badge, Mr. Apollo. They say that the hat was removed during the investigation, which means it had to have been after the police was here when the hat was taken off. Now, if you look at this picture, zoom in. The blood doesn't go anywhere past where his hat went. If you want proof on how far his hat went, let's look at the other picture, the first one that we ever gotten in our lives. Zoom in, please.
Yeah, right there.
That joint right there, yeah, that joint passed where the blood is going. So he couldn't have seen that the blood was streaming on his forehead or seen his forehead either, which is weird. I mean, that's the only thing I could find really that's weird out of this entire situation.
Oh, yeah. So it's possible that the mark was done later?
So I would like to take a good gander at the picture under the attorney's badge and submit that as evidence for the prompt that we are currently over, talking about blood streaming from a cut on the forehead.
Yeah, that's good. Submit that.
Darian.
I'm gonna be wrong.
You're not gonna be wrong. Present.
Fuck.
It's wrong.
Almost had it.
It clearly contradicts the dick in my...
Bye-bye.
I told y'all to trust me.
Anyways,
I mean, not everyone's right all the time.
we should probably present the other picture here.
The one where he doesn't have the blood on his head?
Yes.
Yeah, let's try that.
Tables.
Sure.
You were
Yeah.
almost right, dog. You were almost right.
You were.
Darian had
Your
it.
line of thinking was right. You just
presented the wrong
photo.
picture.
He left.
He was.
Your line of reasoning was 100% correct. You
I
just
don't wanna-
presented the wrong evidence.
I don't want to hear it.
Damn, he said I did not want to hear it.
Because you were just too advanced for what the game wanted, man. Mr. Wright, if I may.
Not this again.
This is how I'm feeling. Yes.
Alright, let's see what this shit is.
Look at this photograph. See the victim here? Wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead.
It's cool. You know what I mean? Yeah, good point. You got me there, bitch.
Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it.
Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court?
I forgot to mention something. Hey guys, I forgot to say something. I was the one who put the hat on his head, by the way.
What?
You? Soldier boy don't.
You put the hat on a dead man's head?
Or through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. That's even more of a slap to the face. Shining bright, just like in this photograph.
And?
Picked his hat up off the floor and put on his head.
Why would you do such a thing like that?
All I can say is, my fault. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene, so eat a dick.
So Mrs. O'Reilly didn't see it?
She was knocked out.
It being the victim's head?
Yeah, I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head.
Ah, here we go again.
Mr. Gavin?
Ahem. Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case.
Hey, he's still our client, isn't he?
I believe that's enough of that.
Mr. Gavin?
This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago.
Mr. Gavin,
Well,
Mr. Gavin?
you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients. Christoph, I never knew.
I believe it was you who threw the first stone.
Today,
I stop arguing. If you intend to
Dad!
ever,
Dad, stop fighting!
if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never.
Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here.
Then we need the MAGA to get a little cap check on that. Eh?
need the manga hat to tell us.
When I noticed the trap, I put the card in a bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, I just had a reason for doing that as well.
Reason?
An illegal one?
That reason is right here, boy.
Your cell phone?
That night. Recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police? Just in case I recorded our conversation.
What's this?
Yep. Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Okay.
Imagine not knowing you're being recorded.
Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble.
What's this? Game not going well?
Something like that.
That gentleman challenged
Oh,
you.
fuck.
He turned out to be good?
Turned out to be dead. Someone hit him hard.
You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china paint? It wasn't you, was it?
Please. The cop should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that.
On China plate.
Yeah, kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny. Not plate, but pat.
Pate.
Pate. Mate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead.
The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead.
Damn.
Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. After Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club?
Most certainly.
And then, how did he know? When did he see his all head?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
That was when I began to see my good friend in a different lizard.
I bet he's like Christoph is like, man, I bet his hat went flying.
Lord.
So, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head?
So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on.
Your point, Mr. Gavin?
It's come down to this, has it, Phoenix Wright?
Order! I will have order. Mr. Payne,
Yes, your age.
I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney Gavin's testimony?
Well, the prosecutor,
Good. Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes. After which, Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that?
Crystal clear, Your Honor.
Very well. This will be the final recess for the day.
Now play nice.
420 going crazy right about now.
Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Sorry. Who would have thought today would turn out like this? Oh, brother. What?
Madness.
Steven.
Hello, sir. Please, pick a card.
Heck? This one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it.
She about to be the Pearly of this series. A trump card?
Curly.
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all.
An ace.
Oh man,
Where did
the
I remember
goldfish
that card
memory
from?
kicking in.
Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces, and Mr. It's 2. It is 5 aces in all. It is true. I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating. I swear to you.
Missing 5th ace.
I just realized this card has the word Capcom on it.
And the Japanese slur on it too.
Wow.
Are you kidding me, dog?
Whoa. Oh, wait, this bitch of red. Oh. This blotch of red? Is that blood?
You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth.
I thought it was hard.
My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it.
Maori.
Fades out of existence. This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth? Man. I fell asleep as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl. I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. My slow ass. Bloody ace added to the court record.
They both gone.
Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne.
Yes, your age. Wait, Mr. The witness state his name and occupation?
Is this farce necessary, Your Honor?
Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom.
Fine, I'll play along.
First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat?
Bruh, does this game think we're stupid? Or as we know we're talking that he's bald.
Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have
So,
quite an inordinate interest in it.
Let's go. The go
oh
is
shit! Now we
I
on
wouldn't
the
call it
subject.
inordinate, Mr. Gobinging.
Mr. Right.
They allowed him out of the witness or the victim chair. Or, I'm sorry,
What do you
victim
think
chair.
you're doing, right?
I'm the father who stepped up.
Things sure look different from the other
I'm his
side.
real dad.
Name to follow. Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a little sec. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off except for that one
One time.
Okay.
And the instant he was hit,
Oh,
I bet his hat went flying. I'm done. When Mr. Wright returned from
Okay.
reporting crime, the hat was lying on the floor.
After what was flying.
okay, we've run that joke into the ground.
Why?
Placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, his hat would have had to go flying off his damn head. How the crime?
In other words, you'd have to be the real killer, is what you're trying to say.
Not bad, Apollo.
I don't even know who I am.
Mr. Gavin?
I'm afraid I haven't been entirely honest with the court.
Yeah, I'm saucy. What?
Mr. Payne is having.
Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. Very well, allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night.
Finally! You may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events that fateful night?
Finally, open to me.
Finally, thank God this court is about to end, bro.
That fateful night.
This long-ass first chapter.
I know, right?
The rage I sensed in the man that night troubled me. So I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand.
Let him still say.
I sensed that it was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Wright.
Damn, he lied. So you're witness of the murder?
For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed.
Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team? Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client.
Well, it's either me or him. Survival of the fittest.
What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all.
So you are Mr. Gunga Ginga. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window.
Mr. Wright?
You know you're losing, right?
You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right about?
Oh. Yeah, let's roll with that.
Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared?
Yeah. Can't believe it. I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. Oh, this getting weirder and weirder.
Welcome to the series, Apollo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and a Wright holding a bottle in his hand.
Arrest that. Those weren't the only three at the scene of the crime.
Yes, as far as I saw at least.
And we're back to where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police?
2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime.
Justice, I just said I saw no one, not a soul.
That goes against what Mr. Wright said.
Ah yes, this mysterious fourth person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose.
Yeah, glad to see we agree, Mr. Gunga.
Alright, let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap the cards in the victim's hand?
Ooh, maybe this is where we do it.
Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary.
How can I show something I can't find myself?
Remember, Paulo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace.
fifth ace, right?
Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out the card has been raised. Can you point to a reason?
Show evidence.
Show that shit, Yago.
It's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out.
Then go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the fifth ace?
Does it have blood on it?
Yes, sir.